Okay. Okay, guys. Welcome to Betsy Lane High School, home of the Bobcat in Floyd County. Welcome to our 8th and final week of this project, by the way, guys. And I'd like to introduce Chris. Hello, friends.
Hey, thank you so much.
No problem.
All right.
How are you?
All right, good. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Go ahead, maybe you.
Thank you so much.
Good morning. We're so glad to be here in Floyd County with Mr. Epling and the fine students at Betsy Lane High School. We appreciate Mr. Shepard and Mrs. Akers for allowing us to be here. I just want to touch base on a couple things. I know some of you are having difficulties with sound, and hopefully we'll get that resolved. Last week, I understand there was a little bit of difficulty getting connected. So Mr. Epling so graciously recorded a full session and has posted that to the holler. So if you feel like you had some spotty connection last week and weren't able to hear fully what he had to say, then go ahead and log on to the holler, to the virtual art gallery, and he recorded the full 7th session, and it's there for you to use. Also, if you've looked at your timeline, this week we've set aside some time to hear from students for them to share their work. And we have some students here at Betsy Lane High School, and we hope to have some other students out in the other districts that want to share what you've done so far. If you would like to share your work today, have your teacher type your name and your school name and your county in the message box, and we'll try to get you in the rotation to share your artwork and your book. Along the lines of the book, we've had a lot of anxiety, if you will, over publishing these books. Nothing about this virtual art gallery activity should cause anxiety, should I say. No. This is fun, this is calm, this is something that we're learning from as we do it. There are lots of English language art standards embedded. There are lots of art standards embedded that fit program review, and so all that's good. The reason we had to create a timeline is we needed the 8 weeks to be consistent, and we needed to know what was going to happen each week, and we wanted to finish before all the testing has started. We really didn't want to be in your schools in May, but it just happened that's the way it worked out. So what I do want to say to you is we've got from now until next fall to get these books published. So don't delay in finishing your book. Go ahead and finish your book up. And then as you finish it, you can send it to us. We have one binding machine, and I think you're looking at the binders. So, you know, there's lots of you out there. There are lots of books, and it's going to take us a while to get them bound anyway. So don't stress about having to have it finished today in order to submit. This is just the end of our training sessions, but you can still continue to work on them. Let me say this one last thing. In the Promising Practices Summit next year at the Expo Center, we hope to have a booth that says Virtual Art Gallery, and we hope to have books from everyone that's participated across the region displayed there in that booth. And then we will have a sign-up sheet, so in case your teachers might want to sign up to participate in the Virtual Art Gallery next year, they can go ahead and sign. We'll have their email address, and then we can contact them in that way. So this is a fun thing. This is a fun learning, project-based activity. No stress, no anxiety over this. If you have questions, feel free to email me, Kelly with an I, kelli.thompson@pike.kyschools.us, and we'll try to answer those questions as we go. I think Mr. Epling is going to do another video on how to scan the documents electronically and get those to us. And again, that's nothing that has to be done within the next 2 weeks or month or 2 months. You know, as long as we get them before our Promising Practices Summit in the fall, which we have the date set already, but I can't tell you that date off the top of my head, but it's usually September, October-ish. So as long as we have them finished, which we will probably have already started the second virtual art gallery by then, so we hope to get all the first ones finished before we start into the second. So, all right, I'm going to be quiet because you're not here to hear from me today. You're here to hear from Mr. Epling, so
thank you.
Here we go.
Thank you, Kelly. Good morning, everybody. Well, that was a great introduction. I don't know if you've noticed that each school we've been to, students have gotten up and they've welcomed us to the school that we were at for that day. But good job, Betsy Lane. That was a good job. I'm proud of you guys. Give yourselves a round of applause. Motivated. That's wonderful. Well, it is really good news. I know a lot of people were worried last session about finishing up in literally 2 weeks. I know some students had lacked a few things that they needed to put together. So this is good news that we do have a lot of time. I wish I would have given it out to you. I know you guys have spent a whole week worrying, but it's good news. So this is a new and innovative way in order to gather students together in a learning environment that could also benefit them with their career goals, and also, even start earning some sort of an income even while you're still in high school, middle school, and who knows, even elementary school. So this opportunity is innovative, it's groundbreaking in its approach, and literally what we've done here out west, this is a huge program. It's implemented in a lot of different schools, and it's slowly growing. And on the East Coast as well, they have workshops that students participate in order to get them involved within the publishing industry, sharing their works and creating their works, and so on. Regional imprints here, and what I mean by a regional imprint, a publishing company, you think of Random House Books, you think of Amulet Books, you think of large companies, and those are definitely players in the publishing industry. But there's also what's known as regional imprints. Now, what a regional imprint is, it's a publishing company. It's on a smaller scale, and instead of being like Penguin Books, where they approach their yearly quota for books and they decide what they're going to publish. So they have a range of tons of different things, spanning tons of different topics, fiction, nonfiction, educational based, and they approach it even multicultural. So they'll have books on Jewish tradition or mountain lore and so on and so forth. So it's very diverse. How that differs from a regional imprint is regional imprints are specific to a certain type of region. So you could say that the Southwest publishing houses there probably will not publish a book on dulcimers, okay? Or let's say a publishing company in Seattle. You won't find them producing a lot of content on swamplands like down in the southeast. So a regional imprint, they produce works that are specific to a certain region. One of the largest regional imprints is actually University of Kentucky Press. They're a publishing company. It's connected to the school, so they're not an independent organization, but they publish works from regional authors. And one of the things that they have started to look into is how to start working in younger artists and writers into their collection, okay? Along with them, Bellamy Fleming Publishing is another publishing company that is regional based. There's Cloud9 Press that is regional based, and it goes on and on. These different imprints are interested in your work. They want to see what you've created. And does this mean that every student's going to leave this project a published author? No, it doesn't. But those who've taken their time and worked on something significant will be able to possibly do that. But we all are going to see our works bound and displayed, and you're going to get to share your work and talk to the public. That's what every single participant is going to be able to do in this program. How this ties into the language arts, and one of the goals with this program too, is to show how sequential art, and if you remember, sequential means in order, one after the other, how sequential art can be used in the classroom. And I discussed this, I think, early on. It may have been in session 1 or session 2. I'm a little unclear, but when you think about writing and incorporating pictures, the first thing you have to consider is what your space is. So let's just imagine this is a sheet of paper. I know it's a little, not very squarish, but let's pretend this is a sheet of paper. This is all, and let's say this is a 8.5 by 11. Okay, so it's a standard copying paper. Let's say this is the space that we have to tell a story, convey a thought, or share an idea. This is our space. Now we can take up as much space as we want in terms of our artwork, how we place our content on that area. But we have to keep in mind when we start to work with this area, the amount of space that's given to us. Okay, So let's just say, let's take comics for example. If I'm going to tell a story, share a thought, or convey an idea using this space, there's a good chance I'm not going to break it down into these multiple grid-like panels so that they're so small that the reader or the person that's looking at it, they're not going to be able to tell what's going on, okay? So this would be an example of something, and you could create something like this. I'm not saying you couldn't. But it's not very efficient in telling a story. The artwork's very small, you can't read the words, so on and so forth. So what happens with a student's mind is when they approach something like this, they're given a certain amount of space to tell a story, convey a thought, or share an idea. They start thinking about how they're going to do that in a way that breaks down the content. So if they've written a story, now they're going to take those words and they're going to turn those words into words and pictures. They have to think about this space. And what happens, especially for the younger kids, is we start looking at very complex writing and language art content. We start looking at introduction. We start breaking down things like conflict resolution, character settings, themes, and so on and so forth. So this tool is becoming more and more widespread, but the fact that we're doing it here in the KVEC region is groundbreaking. You won't find it very much. It's moving slowly in popularity, it's gaining. But so if we broke this down, this space to tell a story in those panels, we know here this is their title. Okay, the first panel of any comic is the title, same as your cover. This is the information about your story. So you'd have maybe something connected to the story in this first panel, or a logo, or something that connects the reader with what they're about to experience when they're continuing on with the page. Okay. And what I mean by that is you may include a main character. If it's set on the moon, you're going to show the surface of the moon, so on and so forth. Then we go into the introduction. So these first two panels are going to introduce the reader to what the content is about. You may introduce a character in this first couple panels. You may introduce the setting. You may introduce the conflict right away. So when a student approaches applying words into pictures, especially in the comic format, in this sequential art format, they're using all these complex theories in language arts, how to connect the introduction to the content with the conclusion, and then how to have the resolution at the end. But they're creating comics, and they're creating picture books, and they're creating chapter books, and so on and so forth. So that's what's really cool about this program. And now we're going to see, it's a first time conducting it, so we've had some bumps along the way, but I think overall this has been a huge success. And it's not about me. It's not about, me coming and standing in front of you each week and being like, and hey, look at me. It's about you. It's about the student. It's about opportunity. All right. I've seen a lot of different artwork throughout the schools. And early on, before students started actually creating their works, I couldn't really see, a lot of what was going on with their story and content and progress. But as the weeks went on and things developed, I started to see little seeds of creation and imagination starting to sprout up all over the region. Okay, and the cool thing is we talked about this early on about the simplicity of your artwork. There's a guy by the name of Ivan Bernanetti, and he draws all of his figures in his comics using a circle for the head. He does a pointed nose like this, a round circle for the eye. He puts little sprouts of hair up here, okay? For the body is another circle, but it's larger. All right? And this is his characters. This looks like nothing you would see in a Batman comic or a Disney or a Pixar movie, but it's simple in its approach because it's all about the story. A lot of students that we've talked to, I won't say a lot, but some, were really worried about sharing their work because they felt that they could not draw like artists at Disney or Marvel. But it's not about that, okay? We used the, early on, I shared with you, if you got online and went to the holler.org, you saw this little character. This is a taco. I don't know if any of you have seen this. If you've looked at the resources I've put online, you know about it. So this little taco guy, okay, he has little legs. This is Christina Morris. She created this character. She's her career now, she has a job. That means every day she wakes up and she creates stories about this little character who's a taco, and she gets paid to do this. Okay. Now this isn't too complex. I mean, there's only a few shapes. There's a upside down, a capital uppercase D. There's 3 circles, and then if you can manage to put some squiggly lines at the top, and the only hard part about it probably is the fingers, right? So we all could pretty much manage this with the, if we sit down and try. So it's about your content. It's about your story, and that's the biggest point I wanted to get across with this project. I don't want you to feel overwhelmed. I don't want you to feel stressed. Teachers, thank you for what you've done. Early on, you probably thought, well, okay, this might be a process where, it flows easily. We're going into testing time. This looks like it's going to require a lot of attention. You're trying to incorporate this into your normal classroom activities and things. And so thank you for what you're doing. And it's all about the student, right? And if these results, if there's things that come out of this program where you see a student who's enabled, their confidence goes up, you see them actually going down a career path that's not traditional around their region, and you see them starting to gain in their creativity and growing into themselves, then you've played a part. You've played an integral part in this. And that's something I want to stress to you, is that it's not supposed to be stressful. So please, if you are stressing out, everybody just decompress. Everybody just breathe in for a minute and then let it out. Does that feel good? That feels good, right? Okay, and that's what we're all going to do across the region. Just did. If you didn't do it in your classroom, go ahead. Okay, so we're going to decompress. This is going to be fun. We have enough time to put this together, and everybody's going to get involved. Okay. I had the opportunity to go to Jones Fork Elementary just here last week, and I worked with the teachers for some professional development, and that was really cool because we discussed these things like I talked about early on about using the space and how to incorporate that. And I want to just really quick take about just a couple of minutes out of our session today and talk to you about that too. So this program can be incorporated into the classroom in all different studies. And we'll take social studies as an example today, okay? One of the activities you can ask your students to do is this. First, you're going to pick an area or a topic of interest. Now, this can be U.S. history, world history, so on and so forth, okay? Ask the student to pick a topic. So one student might choose the building of the Panama Canal, or let's say the signing of the Declaration of Independence or something, okay? Something that's tied into U.S. history, civil rights. I mean, there's tons of things you can do. They have to research this topic. So then they pick their topic. Next comes research. Okay? So they choose what they're going to talk about, and then they have to do research. So whatever they're writing about has to be fact-checked. It has to be correct. It's nonfiction. Okay? Have them conduct a writing assignment. So, you're doing revisions, you're checking their grammar, you're checking their understanding of the content of whatever topic they've chose. From there, then you tell them, okay, you have 3 choices. You could do a comic book, comic strip, or a small illustrated book on this topic. So from there, you have your research, revisions. Number 3 is going to be the creation of the actual sequential art piece. Okay? Now, what this has done, you're already starting to use some program review requirements. You're crossing over different studies. You're pulling out and you're using art with social studies. Boom, you got that down. Next thing is you're resourcing a program such as this. So it's an outside type of educational opportunity. You've got that down. From whatever they create, you got the option of entering that into competitions. You've got that one down. So there's tons of reasons and motivation to use this in the classroom more. All right, so this is a really easy one. Social studies is pretty easy, okay? But what about math? What about science? How in the world would you use this with math and science? Well, I put together this book for the Challenger Learning Center over in Hazard. And it was about this little boy, and his name is John Goodlow. Okay? And what this story was about was a little boy who grew up in Hazard, and he loved math and he loved science. He loved airplanes and aeronautics and things like that, okay? And he went on then to work for NASA. He studied engineering at UK, and he ended up going on to work for NASA, and he worked on a mission called the Viking 1 mission. And anyone that knows anything about space and exploration and stuff understands that the Viking 1 mission was the first mission to Mars. Okay, so this was literally, very significant in the history of space exploration and science in general, engineering and everything else. So he worked on these programs, and we used sequential art to tell the story of John Goodlow through a mini comic. Okay, and the results in that is students are able to learn about who John Goodlow is, and they're able to read that in the form of comics. Okay, so that's pretty cool. That's pretty neat. We're learning about science. We're learning about maybe even math, and we're doing so through comics, right? Okay.
Christopher, can I interject?
Absolutely.
Here?
Yeah.
Just want to say this I'm going to jump on this side. Just want to say this, teachers that plan to participate next year, between now and then, have your students go out into your community and find leaders in your community, such as John Goodlow and Hazard. Even if it's Hatfield McCoy in Pike County, or whoever, people that are legends and leaders in your district, let your students begin now looking for those folks, because I hope that our next sequential art session will be along those lines, so that we can showcase our region and all the legendary people that have done big things throughout the KVEC region. Wouldn't that be awesome to put all of those stories together in one huge book, or to just have a series on the KVEC region? So between now and August, when we begin our next virtual art session, be out in your districts looking for leaders or legends that your students might want to design their book around.
Awesome. That's great. Thank you, Kelly. Absolutely. She said Hatfield McCoy started drawing out a little, I don't know who, devil ants, I guess. But absolutely, that's a great, use this in a way that we could display things tied to our region. And you know what? As you were saying that, Kelly, I thought about this. The regional imprints, these publishers, they want content connected to our region. So when students go out and they select these people like John Goodlow, or talk about a historic, Bad Tom Smith in Breathitt County is a good example. Dukes of Hazzard. Tons of things we could use.
All kinds of famous musicians.
Yeah.
Oh, there's what are some
Patty Loveless,
Dwight.
Ricky Scraggs, Dwight Yoakam.
Dwight Yoakam. There's Loretta Lynn, absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you, Bob. There's tons of different ways we can go about this, okay? And
Also some real local ones too that have really made a difference in our community too.
absolutely.
Like Dr. Fox.
Dr.
She's
Fox.
the one from the health department program. There's different ones still with us.
Bobby Sullivan.
Yep.
We could do one on you because you're motivating. Yeah, we could. So there's tons of, thank you, Bobby. There's tons of different ways we could go about this. So that's a great thing to do between now and the next art gallery workshop. Think about this. Maybe we could focus in on a regional type based production of content then, okay? Because this was all across the board. You could pick a giant squid who attacks Malaysia all the way up to mining sulfur on, or not sulfur, but it's a lot of sulfur, but mining on Mars. There we go. Let's leave it at that. But there's tons of different ways you can go about it. So students, I've been looking at your stuff. Would you care to some of you come up and share some of your ideas when I call out your name? Is that okay? Mm-hmm. All right. If you don't want to, that's fine. But you can just be like this or something, and I'll go on to the next one. Does that sound good? Okay, we're going to share some work from students here at Betsy Lane, and it's amazing what I've seen. Their art teacher, what's your name again, sir?
Shannon Shepherd.
Shannon Shepherd, and the other teachers involved?
Patricia Hackworth, she's over there. She's been our backbone of writing and reading and all that.
It's Patricia. What's your last name?
Hackworth.
Hackworth? Okay, awesome. If you guys want to come up while we talk about it, that's fine if you want to. If not, it's up to you. Okay? All right. But thank you. They've done an amazing job. Amazing job. I'm going to grab one right here that I noticed. And let's see your name. What's your name? Okay, come on up if you want to. You don't have to. But now this is really cool, and I'll let her hold it and talk about it. This is not a photograph, is it?
No.
And what medium is this?
Charcoal and colored pencil.
Charcoal and colored pencil. When I saw this, it was just it really stood out to me. And your lettering is amazing, and you're working on it.
Yeah.
And but her lettering, you can't see it's in pencil, but it's absolutely outstanding. So you want to talk about your book for a second? Share a couple of pages. Okay,
It's
good.
The medieval time period. I wrote it from someone in poverty's point of view and how he's overcoming that poverty to become a major part of breaking free his society. But that's about it. He just he's an artist himself, and he's kind of standing up for people in his position through his artwork. And
It's amazing. You did a great job. You did a really good job. Give everybody All right, the next one that we have is by Courtney Tackett, and this is The Brave Gumball Pirate. And the reason this stood out to me, Courtney, are you here? You know what? Okay, that's okay. Now, what's cool about this, and I'll brag on you then, okay? All right. She took simplicity is best, right? Okay, so gumballs are, what shape are gumballs? Circles, okay? Just like Ivan Bernanetti, we talked about him a minute ago. And this is just amazing. She has different colored gumballs in here. She's got their pirates. So, I mean, this is a really creative and innovative story. The artwork is wonderful. Your shading is great. You did a great job showing light on the surface of the gumball. So this looks really cool. Now, those of you who took a totally different direction and you went into collage and pictures and things, I got an example of that too. And this is Megan Smith. You want to come up? All right. Now this one's Kentucky Honey, okay? And she's cut out her text. Okay, this book is ready to copy and go with it. I mean, it's done. You did a great job. This is more of a chapter book, right?
Yeah.
So you want to take that and talk about it a little bit?
This is based on a true story, actually.
True story.
Yeah, it was. It's the old ghost stories that my papa used to tell me, and it's written from his point of view. And it just follows their family as they live in this haunted house and how they get out.
Okay, and you use pictures, right?
Yeah.
You use photo, and so those are the actual location of. Wow, that's really cool. You want to show a couple of the pictures in there? It's very cool. Let's see what that is. That the okay? That's the actual location that the haunting took place in, right?
Yeah.
That's cool. Those of you guys out there that like ghost adventures and are into like EVPs and all that stuff. I mean, that's a great genre. Genre is the word I'm looking for. Good job. You did a really good job on that. I have another one here. Those of you looking for graphic novels. Who's the creator? Come on.
That is me.
All right. That wasn't planned. That wasn't planned at all, was it?
No, not at all.
Not at all. Now this is really cool. First thing I want to ask you, are these your actual characters? Your own characters, right?
Yeah, these are the characters that I made. I'd like to say I did base some of them off my friends, and I'd like to give shout outs to all my friends and everyone here who inspired me to make this as well. And I'd also like to thank you because I watched some of your videos on how to do like the outlining here and everything. So
Well, thanks.
it took me a little while to actually get the setup the way I like it to as well.
Okay. Well, thank you for that. You've done an amazing job. The cover's excellent, but I want to show your craftsmanship. This is what I was talking about. If you watch now look at this. You can see on the computer, you can't see the artwork, right? You can't see it. But you see those straight lines? You see how nice and uniform the lines are and their width, and it's craftsmanship. This is exactly what I was talking about when I said use a ruler and take your time, and you've done that. What's your name?
My name is Austin Williams.
Austin Williams, you want to talk a little bit about your story, maybe share a couple pictures there?
No, sure, why not?
Cool.
So,
Go ahead.
my story.
Also, we think you could be a news anchor person in addition to being an author.
Yeah,
Thank you. My story is called Diddles and Tickle Bottoms. It is the name of it.
Wait, could you say that again?
The name of it is Diddles and Tickle Bottoms.
That's an interesting name.
Thank you.
That's really cool. I want to read it already.
The two main characters, as you can see, the way they are made, is kind of goofy and crazy. It is back in World War II era, which is the era I wanted to place it in because I always found that to be interesting to me.
Cool.
Now, it's really goofy the way they end up in the situation that they're at. You can see they start out just napping, you know. You see a random kid flying a kite. And I incorporated a bunch of really funny faces and everything in it as well. All these nice, things on it.
Can I stop you for a second?
Sure.
I notice here what you've done, which is very, very cool. Perspective, right? So you're going into where the lightning strikes the kite, right?
Yeah.
And so the panel, you're moving in from here where he's holding the kite, it's
Yeah.
up in the air, and then you zoom in, you see the lightning strike, right?
Yeah.
So you're using perspective, you're zooming in, you're moving out, you're changing angles. I mean, it's awesome. Go ahead.
All right. So I'm going to skip ahead a few pages if you guys don't mind. And don't judge, guys.
You're fine.
Don't be that kind of person. But a few things that I like to incorporate in this is comedy. The biggest part of this comic is, for comical reasons, I made this because I want people to laugh and smile at how goofy the characters are, and even in serious situations, they just end up getting out of it in some kind of weird and wacky way.
Awesome.
So the whole point I made of this is just I want people to enjoy my comics. So that's basically the biggest reason I made it.
And do you have any ideas what you want to do after school?
Actually, yeah, after school, I do have a little dream of mine. I want to be a game designer and animator, and I also want to work with filming as well.
Well, there's no doubt in my mind you're going to do that because you're super talented. You have an eye for content, and so when you get famous one day, will you remember this session? Can you send me an autographed picture of one of your characters? Is that okay?
I hope one day I can shake your hand if I make it that
Can I
day.
come up to the table and get you to sign a book? Is that okay?
Yeah.
Do you remember the old guy with
Awesome hair.
the awesome hair?
Yeah,
No,
you got
man,
awesome
I got
hair, my
no.
friend.
You got awesome hair too. So
Thank you.
Okay.
It's kind of shaggy, but thank you.
No, man, it's a thank you though.
All right, here you are.
Awesome hair. Awesome hair. Thank you. That's gonna give me. I was feeling kind of low today. Now I feel good. That's gonna get me through another week and a half. Thank you. I appreciate. No, awesome. Okay. I appreciate that a lot. Jamie Wolford. You want to talk about your book? Jamie Wolford. You created it with her?
No, it's just her.
You don't want to? Okay. Well, I'm just going to talk just a second about it. In the size of the book here, right? You've created a smaller book. We can't see you, so you're okay. But wait, we can see you. Here you are. Yeah. So this is smaller. Like I said, it could be anything under 8.5 by 11, and she's created a smaller book. This is like a 5 by 7, I think. Looks about right. It reminds me of Bella's Story, which is a book that I wrote and illustrated for the Mosby Foundation. It's about the same size, and so that's really cool. You did a great job on this, Jamie. Okay. Oh, wow. Okay. Oh, so much stuff. One did the words. Okay, I want to use this I'm going to share this with you real fast, too. Taylor Bush is the author, and illustrator is Abby Hamilton. Either one of you guys want to come up and talk about your stuff? Oh, okay. What's your name? Okay, so Abby, you're the illustrator, right? So there's your. So these you wrote the words, and you illustrated the book, right? Okay, awesome. So you want to talk about it? You just look right up in there.
Okay. The title of her book is Confessions of a Jailbird. It's about a bunch of teenagers our age living their daily lives in the city of Chicago.
I kind of wrote the book on it's kind of a lesson, because give me the front page. Her name is Silver, and she has two best friends, and one of her friends, she moves, and then she comes back to Chicago, and, she left with two best friends, and then she come back, and she expected her friends to be, friends again, but ended up, one got in a lot of trouble, and they split apart, and then she ended up being friends with the one who got in trouble, and she ends up in jail.
and she loses her good friend, but then she regains her friend back again. And it's kind of just like a lesson because she gets involved with alcohol and drugs and everything, and she learns from her mistakes.
Oh, that's awesome. So it's got a moral-based message, right?
Yeah.
That is awesome. Is the happy ending?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Good,
they're
thank
friends
goodness.
again.
Yes, they become friends.
Okay, good. That's a good thing. So let me, why did you choose to do it in the size you did it in as the illustrator?
When I was little, I read a lot of Junie B. Jones books, but I kind of wanted to make it into like a teen version of Junie B. Jones,
Okay.
and that's like the size of her books.
A series then?
Yeah.
And you guys work together as a team too. So
Yeah.
that's excellent. You guys did a great job.
That's an awesome
Thank
you.
idea. Great.
I keep saying, give them a round of hand. So, round of applause wants to be. Anyway, sorry. Savannah Gibson, great example here for using photography. And I said early on, and she listened, and it's awesome. If you use photography, that's fine. Tried to alter the image in some way, which she's done. What did you use for this, Savannah? To create the. Where are you? You used the iPad?
Yeah,
So what program was it?
it's called Bizarre.
You want to come up and talk about it? So you used what? No, what was it called again?
Bizarre.
Bizarre.
Yeah.
Okay, Bizarre. And you could show them a couple of the pages where you've added the rainbows thing. Is that okay?
Yeah.
So good job. Go ahead and it's all yours. So that's cool. That's cool. So you
I took these pictures behind my house with my siblings, and then I added effects to them.
That's what I was going to ask. So those are your brothers and sisters, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And see the clouds? See how cool? And the colors? So did you play around with the color tone on it and
Yeah.
everything?
Yeah.
And so you staged, is this something that you brought them out and said, okay, this is what I need you to do?
Yeah.
So you staged them and everything?
Yeah.
So that is so cool. So you directed it then?
Yeah, I guess.
It's amazing. Look at that. I mean, so you're incorporating, think of all the elements you're incorporating here. Photography, creative writing, art, digital art, right? Okay. Directing. I mean, it's amazing what you've done. What was your motivation behind the story?
Well, my grandmother's beat cancer several times and stuff, and it's hard thinking about it. And I just wanted to do one with two little kids that their imaginations guided them to heaven. And throughout the book, you don't know that they have cancer. You just think they're two kids that are having fun and end up in this magical land. But in the end, you find out that they went to heaven, and the magical land's heaven.
That's amazing. So proud of you. The magical land, right?
Yeah.
You did an amazing job. Really.
Thank you.
What a message, what a story. This is just, and the time and everything you put into it, I'm proud, very proud of you, okay?
Thank you.
Did a great job. Awesome. Okay, we got a couple more. I want to go through everybody. The more you bring up here, I'm just going to keep going because this is just great. You won't come up? Not even delayed. You can stand behind the board and just wave, put your back. No? Okay. Well, I'll share this. This is a picture book. Is that the content you chose? Picture book. Or it could be chapter book, I suppose, the way you set it up with your words and everything. But I really like your artwork a lot. The giraffe, and remember we drew a giraffe on the tutorial, and she also has a giraffe, and she has another character in it is a penguin. Now how cool is that penguin? Really. That's the coolest penguin I think I've ever seen. So, and let's see, go another page from it. Here's more of the penguin, and I like the school bus. Found it. There we go. How cool is that? I really liked how you put the parrot or the macaw up there driving, and you got the crazy. The monkey would have been me in school. That's me right there in the back. So
Maybe Bobby and I could have been the penguin and the giraffe.
Maybe Bobby would have been the monkey. I think I'm gonna change it around now. No, I'm kidding. Okay, and now, actually I want to do the alien one first. Kendra, come on up here, Kendra. All right, she's coming up. So we have and Vanna Vance. So you're the illustrator, okay? And you're the author. You know why I really like this? Because I really like UFOs. Oh no, now everybody knows that. Okay, MUFON. You guys know what that is? No. Okay, I'm gonna shut up. All right, so I'm gonna embarrass myself. I'm gonna leave here and get emails. Okay, Master of Lexon.
Yeah.
Okay, and this is sci-fi, obviously, right?
Yep.
First thing I want to say is that the cover is awesome.
Thank you.
Okay, because you have captured everything that a title cover should have. And I'm going to talk about it for a second, then you can take over, okay? But look at this. All right? And honestly, this doesn't do it justice. The color is just, it's popping out on the page. It's really, really great artwork. The storyline is amazing. The camera you can't really see. I mean, I could put it up really, really close, but that doesn't help either, so I'm just going to stop that. But anyway, main character, right? Okay. Conflict, aliens, right? Okay. Setting, space. I mean, I haven't read it, but we have this vial here with some sort of something, right? So all of these things are incorporated into your cover. That's everything I hoped everyone would do, and you did it. So awesome. Do you want to take over and talk about it and share some of the artwork? So just to get it straight, illustrator, author.
Well, we both illustrated.
You both illustrated.
Yeah.
Okay, who did you both write or input on writing?
I wrote,
writing.
and she did the sketches for me, and I just finished them and colored them because I can't draw.
Correct. Go. Remember what we said? You can't say I can't draw.
True.
Remember? Oh man, you're about having my mind just started spazzing out. I can't draw a line. Okay, never mind. Go ahead. Okay. Well, you can draw. Go ahead. So.
When I first started thinking about the book, I was actually sitting in my teacher's aid period, and I was looking at my teacher's background on her computer, and it was a mountain with a bunch of color. And I was like, that's going to be a cute thing to write a story about. And I'm going to take this paper off of. I'm awkward. I'm sorry.
You're fine.
And this is the mountain. It's Mount Rowan. And in the story, pretty much, it talks about a young girl named Tameen. And she is a Native American. And during this whole experience, this alien comes, and his name's Master Ikudon. And he comes to get her from her little town called Lexon. Thank you.
That's a cool page.
And this is Rikudon, Afuzi, and Tameen. And we wanted to portray Tameen as to be an innocent yet sassy little girl. And you can kind of tell. She looks like she's up to mischief to me. And
That's amazing.
throughout the whole story, there's conflicts between the husband and the wife alien. And there's a vial to an antidote. And, love and all this stuff. And it was honestly just kind of off the top of my head. And I was sitting at home with Vanna one night, and I was like, yo, you should totally draw this for me, because, well, I'll just show you. This is mine, and it's very detailed. I'm a stickler. And this is Vanna's. So, she's better than me at this kind of stuff.
No, it's a different style. It's a different style. You guys did a great, and you're best friends, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I guess that, because I'm innocent.
Okay.
So that's so cool, though. You guys are best friends. You work together on this project. It could possibly be published. It is going to be available for people to look at and check out and read and all that.
Wow.
But you've done such a good.
Oh, sorry. What I find unique is there ain't that many children's books sort of about aliens. Not what I've heard of.
No, and that's what makes it so cool. I would have loved this book. I mean, I do love the book, but yeah, that's great. Great job, guys. Give them a round of applause.
Thank you. Val.
And you know what? Martians must be a theme, because now we have another. This is Martians. Who did this? You want to come up? Oh, cool. Come on up. What's your name? Corey Maynard. Right?
And Sarah Tackett.
Okay. Oh, cool. Come on. You guys come on. Who was the illustrator?
Sarah Tackett.
Sarah? This is Sarah Tackett. This is cool stuff. Really cool stuff. And you wrote the book, right? Now, I want to just talk about it for a second. You guys take over. I was looking through here, and I noticed that you guys have now the art is amazing. I mean, that's cool. That's really cool stuff. But the way you've incorporated text, so you have full illustrations and you have a full page of text, right?
Yep.
So it's a longer story. So it's breaking down. It reminded me of like the 1950s sci-fi novels. Like if you pick up a sci-fi book, not the novel, but they have the illustrations, but it's more content, right? You want to talk a little bit and share some artwork on here? It's okay. You guys take over.
Can you talk about it?
Well, I wanted it to be like for Mars, and like I never got a perspective on a book because I'd created my own, and I wanted it to be on Mars. So there's the title page. There's the lab that they're first in.
You're setting now, Dan.
Then in the second chapter, one of the scientists falls in a hole and gets the
There you go.
money for the fund to go to Mars.
How cool. The artwork is wonderful. What inspired the story? Are you interested in sci-fi?
Yes.
Both of you? A little bit?
I guess.
How'd you guys team up together?
Well, I didn't have nothing to do, so, and we just teamed up.
Kind of just happened.
Yeah, I can't write.
What?
You sure can draw, sis.
You can draw. I mean, you can write. You both can write. You both can draw. But this is just the color. Look at that.
Then they go to Mars and see the aliens.
It's just incredible. It's amazing. I'm so proud of all you guys.
And the Martians speak Dutch, cause like.
Wait a minute.
Dutch.
The Martians speak Dutch?
Yeah, I was wanting it in a different language.
Oh, that's cool. So you wrote it in the
Dutch.
It's in Dutch in the book too.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's cool. Good job. Good job.
And then they leave Mars.
Very cool. Very cool. I love it. Very cool. You did a great job. Great job. I'll go a couple more. I could spend all day doing this. I know we're getting a little short on time, but we have Sarah Akers. Sarah Akers. Don't want to come? Okay, well, I want to share this real fast. She did a great job, and her title is amazing. This sticker's on here, but just pull it. There you go. So her cover's amazing, title's amazing. She's used her placement of text, so we have the illustrations and the text below. This is cut out and pasted. It's absolutely ready for print. And also you have, perspective nailed down. Where are you, Sarah? So I can at least lay out on you. Good job, good job. Okay, let's do a couple more here. And let's see. We've got Skyward Sun. Who's the creator of this massive epic?
Come on, move, son. Hurry.
This is an epic novel here. You've got the starts of something very cool. You still got to do your artwork, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's okay. This is a lot of content, man.
That's a little bit.
This is a lot, and this is an approach. So I want you to talk about your story, the process of creating it and everything. What's your name again?
Ethan Howe.
Oh, I didn't even ask that. Ethan Howe, right?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead, Ethan. Take it. Show's yours.
Well, I sort of made this story through like the thought of like when I was writing it, it was more like a Spider-Man kind of deal, like a teenager caught in some kind of like trouble, I guess, and it's basically about a boy that finds out on his 18th birthday that he is half angel, and it goes through as like the start of it and stuff is like he finds a cat is what it was, and how he learns his power, and he's got like this neighbor that creeps on him all the time because he was born weird, like he was born in 3 days.
Explain what creeps is for a second.
Like she watches everything he does.
Okay.
Like every time he comes home, it leads on to a doctor that has been with him since he was little that finds out. He's the one that discovers he has wings and powers and stuff. And he basically wants to test on him, but he escapes. And through this, the doctor takes it out on not only him, but through his heart and what he loves. But the longer the story gets, the more antagonists, like the Archangel Michael comes into play as an antagonist, and his father is Lucifer, which comes as a protagonist, or he's like bias in a way, and it leads on to that, to like more showing him as a superhero than just a straight up angel.
Yeah. Wow, that's awesome. Good job, Ethan. Right? Yeah. Ethan, you used some terms in there that really sparked my interest when you were saying protagonist, antagonist, and things like that. So that's what this is all about, right?
Yeah.
Using these interesting writing and story elements and you've got a great handle on those. How old are you?
15.
15?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, that's amazing. You asked me what a protagonist was at 15. I thought it'd be like a a zit ointment or something. I mean, it's
I done got another story, like the second part of that, because I was worried like it wasn't big enough.
Yeah.
And it's about his son that lays on to make. Yeah.
I'm proud of you. You did a great job.
Thank
great
you.
job.
That's
All right.
awesome.
Okay.
Awesome.
I can't stop. I'm gonna. I promise.
Can I say one thing?
Yes.
Just because that was so powerful to see so many of these stories, and what I'd like for us to think about is how can we make these grow? Not only did he do a story, but then he was talking about a sequel. So could we use iBook Author or some other kind of software to put these electronically and maybe make them into a video or a movie or a digital book, or let's just use our imagination here, but some of these thoughts and ideas just could run the gamut. We're going to go on for another story or two, and then I have some concluding remarks, and then we've hit our 10:30 mark today. I wish this one could have been longer. I
know, me too. This has been a fun session. Okay, I picked this one out and I'm motioning for her to come on up. Thank you and her name is? Casey Rogers. Okay, Casey that's tie-dye. You know how hard it is to do colored pencil, right?
Yeah.
Tie-dye and colored pencil, that's difficult stuff. You wrote and illustrated this, right?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead and talk about it. You did it. That's cool. I haven't got to flip through it a lot, so I didn't get to see.
My cover page isn't printed, but it's called A Book for You. My sister was my main inspiration for it.
She got a dedication page.
Yeah,
Very cool.
She's 6, and this book is about things she wants to be when she grows up.
How cool is that? That's amazing. So is that your own sister?
Yeah.
Okay. So these are things that she wants to do. So you actually had to do a little research with just asking her stuff, and then you.
It goes in order as things she say them, and I would write them down. Mm-hmm. It goes from like a rock star to she wants to ride on a rocket ship to a doctor. She wants to be a librarian.
That's so cool.
And it jumps around from each page. So it's sporadic, like a small child.
That is so cool. So your approach is from literally she's a sort of a co-writer on this in an interesting way, right?
Yeah.
I mean, so as motivation and inspiration, right?
Yeah.
That's so. I'm proud of you. Great job with that. Okay, great job. And you did the cover?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's tie-dye is. That caught my first thing. Read a page. Will you read a page?
Poetic in nature.
Oh, it is? Oh.
Read loud.
Okay. This is the one about this page.
Okay.
Maybe when you grow up, you will be a rock star. You might wear fancy clothes and play a big rock guitar. You could sing rock songs and travel with the band, and you can make the crowd scream when they throw up their hands.
Oh, wow.
Thank you for bringing that up, because that just adds. That's amazing. That is amazing.
Dimension to the book.
Yeah, good job. Wait, I'm so proud. You did a great job. Okay, we're gonna do a couple more here. Okay, we got one more. One more, and then we'll turn it over. And this one, here we go. Who's this one? Come on up. Don't want to come up? Okay, I'll real fast then. Okay, what she has, she's already got everything laid out, ready. She's got really cool placement of words. Her text is amazing. She used different lettering. That's something that I asked. Perspective, she nailed it down. Everything about this is a great job, okay? You did a great job. I'm going to go through it quick because unless you want to come up and talk. You don't want to? Okay. One more here.
I love that one.
Kirkland Newsom.
That's one of my favorites. Is Kirkland in here?
You want to come up? So, don't want to? Where are you?
It's amazing. It's a short story. It's got it has an element of surprise on every page because I found myself looking for that. It's awesome. I wish you would tell us a little bit about it, but anyway.
Oh, your shading.
The last page, the little guy's hiding under the bed, and it's really cute.
Your shading is really good. Really, really good. What inspired this? You can tell us from back there, can't you? What kind of books do you like to read?
There's a lot of thought that went into it because he has a little character that's hidden on every page that you have to look for.
Okay.
And you're thinking you're looking for a little boy, but really he has a little mouse or something, and then the little boy's finally hidden under the bed. So I
Awesome.
loved it.
Good job. Good job. So I'm going to turn this over to Kelly, and just want to say real fast, we're going to move down here like this. Hello. just want to say, thanks, man.
A little bit further.
Hello. I had a great time doing this, and each one of you, and listen, sure, I could stand here and just be like, great job, everybody, because that's what you expect me to say, right? But seriously, I'm blown away. There's tremendous talent in our region. The KVEC region has some of the most amazing students. I've been to schools in Tennessee, Ohio, Virginia, all around, and I hope they don't watch this because they probably won't have me back now. Amazing, okay, the potential and capabilities that you have. One small thing, and I'll leave you with this, okay? Things like this are here for you to take advantage of. Those of you who have, and we've seen examples of that today, could potentially start the journey to doing something that will change their lives, a career that they have fun in and express themselves, okay? You guys are young. You got a lot, you don't want to make decisions about your career yet, but now you know another option. At least that's available to you. But here's the kicker. You're gonna have other options in life too, not just positive ones. You're gonna have negative options. Some options are gonna maybe sometimes look pretty enticing. When you have peer pressure, you got somebody you want to impress, somebody you want to whatever, and they're kind of like, hey, come on, this is fine. You know that drugs and alcohol can destroy lives. We see it in the news. We've got examples. You don't have to look far. Sometimes, and most of the time, in our own families even. Things like today is on the opposite end of drugs and alcohol, okay? And there's a big space in between there. My suggestion to you is to stay closer to this end, because as you go towards that end, the opportunities evaporate. It could take one time messing around with narcotics, one time, drinking, getting behind the wheel of a vehicle, something like that, and everything's taken away, all right? It's evaporated. If you want to play that roulette game and you want to chance it, that's up to you. But just be aware going into it that these things that you've seen today, they don't exist there. The only thing that exists there is pain, hurt, suffering, and it's a terrible place to be, okay? Stay away from pills, stay away from alcohol, stay away from dope, all the stuff that's out there. Focus on what you can do to express yourself and move towards something significant to make a difference in other people's lives, okay? Because you can through this. We've seen stories about family, heartfelt things, personal, cancer. We've seen a lot of different things. And we also seen aliens and stories about,
Giraffes and monkeys.
Giraffes and monkeys. Thank you, Kelly. So I really appreciate you giving me the opportunity to talk to you throughout these 8 weeks. I look forward to seeing what you create. There's going to be some that will be selected to come and participate at the KVEC Promising Practices, thank you, Summit. So we'll be able to meet and hang out in person, and I can check your workout. I'm going to hang out with Betsy Lane here for a little bit afterwards, and we're going to maybe answer some questions and draw some. So I'm going to turn this over to Kelly. Thank you, Kelly, for this opportunity. Okay, Kelly, when I first started going out to schools, you can present this. You can present what I found and what I learned going out to schools in a way. But if you don't have support from those who can actually bring you into a place and give you the opportunity, and she did, okay. And there's not many people who did, and she did, and now we see the results from confidence, and I thank you for that.
Well, here's what I'm going to say. I think everybody in this room and everybody out there can join with me in thanking Mr. Epling for all he's done for the last 8 weeks.
Thank you.
He put a lot of time and planning when we didn't see. He doesn't just come in and do these sessions. It took a lot of planning, a lot of time to put it all together, and I appreciate him, and I just look forward to many more opportunities in the future. But I will say along those lines, these virtual art sessions are just one of the options that are available with Mr. Epling. If you would like for him to come into your classroom and to do specific work with students, he does that half day, week, however you want to do it. If you would be interested in professional development for teachers on how to incorporate, he's available to do that as well. We put Epling illustration and his email in the message box. So if you would like for him to come to your school to do specific things before we have him back next year for our next virtual art session, feel free to contact him. Now, I know we've gone over today, but I think it's so been worth it. But let me say this. Some of you did not get enough paper. So if you did not get enough paper, make sure you email me and say, I am Chelsea Gillum from Pike County Central High School and Pike County, I need 52 sheets of paper, because I need to know specific names of who to get it to and what district you're from, and I need to know specifically how many sheets of paper you need. So if you need additional paper, even if I've already talked to you, in the subject line, put virtual art gallery paper, so that when it comes in, I know that's something that I need to get right away to get the numbers so we can get the paper out to you. We have gone 5 minutes over today. I appreciate you participating. We hope that this grows and just gets bigger and bigger, and we have more participation. And I'm interested in hearing from you on how you think, not just teachers but students, how you think we can make this bigger and better and more enjoyable for you, and the learning experience be better for you. So feel free to email either me or Mr. Epling. Make sure to continue to be on the virtual art gallery holler. Even though our virtual art session's over, the holler's still active for you to communicate with students all across the region and teachers all across the region. And then hopefully around August or maybe the 1st of September, we'll begin our next virtual art gallery session, and I hope that all of you participate. So thank you so much. Betsy Lane High School, can we tell them bye? Bye.